Most athletes make the same fatal error. They humbly accept the genetic reality of their body, relying on the opinion of internet experts that the shape of the bicep cannot be changed. There is a persistent myth that the height of the peak is exclusively a matter of muscle belly length and tendon attachment points, which supposedly cannot be influenced by any exercises. Biologically, the bicep consists of two heads, the long and the short. It is the long head, located on the outer side of the arm, that creates that coveted sharp peak when the arm is flexed. Is a muscle truly a static object that cannot change its shape? No. A muscle is a living, adaptive tissue that changes its density and shape under specific vectors of load. Skeptically, when beginners say a peak cannot be built, they are simply making the mistake of performing exercises that distribute the load evenly, or worse yet, shift the focus to the brachialis, the muscle lying underneath the bicep. If your workout consists only of standard barbell curls, you are building mass but ignoring the architecture of your peak. Muscle shape is a direct result of selective loading on specific fiber bundles. Persistently, I myself long considered my bicep long and flat, a classic case of a complete lack of a peak. However, when I consciously revised my technique and implemented concentration curls as my primary tool, I saw how the anatomical reality began to change. You will not change the tendon's attachment point on the bone, but you can hypertrophy the long head so much that it physically pushes the total muscle volume upward. For this to happen, you need to work with the correct weight that allows you to drive the muscle to peak intensity. Forget endless high-rep sets for the pump. We need the 8 to 10 rep range, which allows you to use a weight that challenges your nervous system. Only in this range do you unite fiber hypertrophy and strength adaptation. We aren't just filling the muscle with blood, we are forcing it to structurally change. Seriously, let's break down exactly how to work with a dumbbell to trigger this transformation, using the experience of the greatest bodybuilder in history.
Respectfully, Arnold Schwarzenegger was no theorist. He was an engineer of his own body who intuitively discovered what sports medicine confirmed years later. His favorite tool for sculpting the peak was the concentration curl. Why does this exercise work where barbells and machines fail? In concentration curls, we completely eliminate the momentum of the back and shoulders by locking the elbow in a strictly fixed position. Arnold always focused on two critical points: rigid elbow fixation and wrist supination. The moment you curl your arm, you are obligated to rotate your pinky finger upward and outward at the top phase. This exact wrist rotation maximally activates the long head of the bicep, forcing it to work at an angle it is not accustomed to in regular exercises. When the arm reaches peak contraction, you must perform a deliberate micropause, literally squeezing the dumbbell into the compressed muscle. This exact pause causes a colossal accumulation of metabolites and microtrauma necessary to trigger hypertrophy in the upper segment of the bicep. When I switched to working in the 8 to 10 rep range with a weight that made me tremble by the 8th repetition, I noticed that my arms began to take on that exact arched shape. This isn't magic, it's pure biomechanics. Isolation is a tool for focusing the neural impulse. If you were just lifting a dumbbell, you were training your ego. If you were curling the arm with a focus on peak contraction and supination, you were training the shape. Schwarzenegger knew concentration curls aren't about the weight you can lift cleanly, they're about the weight you can grind out. He often finished his workout with these to finish off the exhausted bicep. This method is the only way to force a long bicep to visually change its geometry. Arnold always said that for a peak, you need to feel every single fiber, and now we will break down how to take that feeling to the absolute limit when the muscle can no longer work on its own.
If you want to genuinely change the shape of your arms, you must stop being afraid of heavy weights. Your concentration curls must look like this. Sit down, Press your elbow firmly against the inner thigh and never let it wander during the movement. Lower the dumbbell slowly, controlling every centimeter of the eccentric phase so the load doesn't transfer into the tendons. When lifting, don't think about moving the weight. Think about twisting the bicep as if you were trying to crush a tennis ball inside your arm. My experience proves, even with long bicep genetics that supposedly shouldn't have a pronounced peak, progress is absolutely real. I saw the first changes after just 1 month of working in the 8 to 10 rep range, where every last rep became a genuine battle. But here is the main secret. When you reach failure and can no longer lift the weight cleanly, do not drop the dumbbell. At this moment, use controlled momentum. Slightly assist yourself with your free hand or a minimal movement of the torso to overcome the sticking point and immediately return to the peak contraction of the bicep. This cheating at the end of a set is not a weakness, it is a tool for driving the muscle to a state it cannot reach with clean reps alone. It is these last dirty reps with momentum that tear the fibers that remained untouched. The muscle began to grow upward, gaining the exact architecture you dreamed of. Yes, you won't become Arnold if you don't have his skeletal structure, but you can definitely make your bicep better than it is right now. Add 4 such sets of 8 to 10 reps with 2 to 3 dirty reps at the end to every arm workout. Give this exercise 3 months and you will see something in the mirror you didn't believe in before. The peak is not a myth for the chosen. It is a reward for those who found the right angle of load. Take this tool in your hands, use momentum wisely, and start changing what you dislike about your body. No more fluff, just work on yourself and anatomically precise loading.